There are about 4,600 species of animals today that are called mammals because, despite an astonishing diversity of form and habitat, they all share a long list of characteristics not found in any other organisms, such as the presence of mammary glands, the single bone in the lower jaw, and the neocortex of the forebrain. This makes them unambiguously distinct from their closest living relatives, and their unique characters together define a monophyletic taxon, the class Mammalia. So in this video, we're going to talk about the rise and reign of the mammals, Mammals Evolution. The video is going to be amazing, so make sure you stick to the end. The evolution of mammals has passed through many stages since the first appearance of their synapsid ancestors in the Pennsylvanian subperiod of the late Carboniferous period. By the mid-Triassic, there were many synapsid species that looked like mammals. The lineage leading to today's mammals split up in the Jurassic. Synapsids from the period include Dryolestes, more commonly related to extant placentals and marsupials than to monotremes, as well as Amandro, more commonly related to monotremes. Mammalian taxonomic richness doubled over the first 100,000 years. Mammals also recovered to the size of the pre-extinction period, which is up to 7 kilograms in weight compared with the half kilogram of the immediate survivors of the asteroid impact. At the same time, the richness of megafloral species also increased rapidly, which in turn drove an equally dramatic increase in the body mass of the largest mammals. After 300,000 years, these had increased by 30 times, up to 15 kilograms. The next major development was the emergence of the bean family about 700,000 years after the KPGE, which further stoked the evolution of additional large mammals, according to the study. By now, mammals up to 50 kilograms in weight were present. Furthermore, it appeared that each of the concurrent plant and mammal bursts in diversity seemed to coincide with global warming. The several features that separate modern reptiles from modern mammals doubtless evolved at different rates. Many attributes of mammals are correlated with their highly active habit. For example, efficient double circulation with a completely four-chambered heart, anechoic and biconcave erythrocytes, the diaphragm, and the secondary palate, which separates passages for food and air and allows breathing during mastication or suckling. Before we move on, support us by hitting subscribe and the bell icon to get notified when we post new videos. Now let's get back to our topic. Hair for insulation is a correlate of endothermy, or warm-bloodedness, the physiological maintenance of individual temperature independent of environmental temperature. Endothermy allows high levels of sustained activity. The unique characteristics of mammals thus would seem to have evolved as a complex interrelated system. Further insights into the lives of the multituberculates have recently come with some remarkable discoveries of fossils from northern China. Two paleontologists, Jin Meng and Andre Wyss, recently reported evidence of hair from fossil excrement, or coprolites, as well as fossilized regurgitated bird pellets from a locality called Bayan-Lan in Inner Mongolia, China. The lan is the Mongolian word for red, referring to the red-colored clays that produce the fossils. As the fossil assemblage from these beds is of late Paleocene age, roughly 55 million years ago, and a mere 10 million years after the Cretaceous or non-avian dinosaur extinction event, this disclosure is arresting in its antiquity. Meng and Wyss are able to identify hair types for at least 4 different taxa of animals, including notably a multituberculate known as Lambdopsalus. With the dinosaurs out of the way, the Cenozoic era was an object lesson in convergent evolution. Mammals were free to radiate into open ecological niches, in many cases taking on the general shape of their dinosaur predecessors. Giraffes, as you may have noticed, are eerily similar in body plan to ancient sauropods, like Brachiosaurus, and other mammalian megafauna pursued similar evolutionary paths. Endothermy is a defining feature of mammals, including us humans. Having a quasi-constant high body temperature regulates all our actions and behaviors, from food intake to cognition, from locomotion to the places where we live, said paleontologist Ricardo Araujo of the University of Lisbon's Institute of Plasmas and Nuclear Fusion, co-lead author of the study published in the journal Nature. Run faster, run longer, be more active. Be active through longer periods of the circadian cycle. Be active through longer periods of the year. Increased foraging area. Possibilities are endless. All this at a great cost, though. More energy requires more food, more foraging, and so on. It is a fine balance between the energy you spend and the energy you intake, Aruhu said. Many paleontologists angrily reject the DNA findings, arguing there must be something wrong with the molecular clocks the geneticists use to date their findings. The geneticists counter that paleontologists just haven't found the right fossils yet. Scientists who trust the fossils and those who look to the genes agree on at least one thing. Mammals were starting to come into their own around the time of the Morganuconditis. Their jawbones were beginning to fuse into one piece. This is very different from reptile jaws, which are made up of several bones, says paleontologist Rich Cifelli of the Sam Noble Oklahoma Museum of Natural History. Modern mammals' bones migrated backward to become the small bones of the middle ear. That's why mammals hear so much better than reptiles. Early amniotes had 4 offspins in the cones of their retinas to use for distinguishing colors, 1 sensitive to red, 1 to green, and 2 corresponding to different shades of blue. The green opsin was not inherited by any crown mammals, but all normal individuals did inherit the red one. Early crown mammals thus had 3 cone opsins, the 1 red and both of the blues. All their extant descendants have lost one of the blue-sensitive opsins, but not always the same one. Monotremes retain 1 blue-sensitive opsin, while marsupials and placentals retain the other, except cetaceans, which later lost the other blue opsin as well. Some placentals and marsupials, including higher primates, subsequently evolved green-sensitive opsins, like early crown mammals. Therefore, their vision is trichromatic. In 2017, Mayer's team reported that the first ancestral mammal species to be active in the daytime probably lived around 65.8 million years ago, just 200,000 years after the dinosaur mass extinction. This exact timing was based on calculations of the likely activity pattern for each ancestral mammal whose living descendant species were among the 2,415 species in our activity dataset, and on the phylogenetic relationships linking all of these species, Mayor explained. Such reconstructions of ancestral character incorporate uncertainty from trait data of extant species and uncertainty of phylogenetic relationships. This uncertainty occurs both in assuming how long a given species existed before becoming extinct or evolving into another species, and topology, which reflects the closeness of relationships between species. However, his team was able to narrow uncertainty over the key event, the evolution of the diurnal activity of the relevant species, the artiodactyl, that levels below 2%. That is, the probability that the ancestral artiodactyl that lived 65.8 MA was not active during the day, that is nocturnal, is very small, Mayor commented. Scientists believe mammary glands began as sweat glands at the bases of hairs. Both sweat glands and mammary glands produce water, salts, and proteins, all of which a newborn needs to survive. The duck-billed platypus of Australia gives a glimpse of how those primitive mammary glands worked. The platypus and the spiny anteater are the only surviving examples of a mammalian subgroup called monotremes. Nipples, which concentrate milk ducts, probably emerged with the branch of mammals we know as marsupials, a group that includes kangaroos, koalas, and opossums. A newborn wildebeest stands between the legs of its mother, its skin still wet from birth. Suddenly, the air fills with the cries of vultures. They descend and with their fierce beaks begin to tear into the placenta lying a few yards away. The mother wildebeest jerks her head. Their arrival has announced to every scavenger for miles around that there is a fresh young meat here, and she urges her calf into as fast a gallop as its wobbly legs can manage. So that's it. Please like, share, and comment with your thoughts below if you liked this video. Remember to subscribe to see our next video. Stay safe, and we will be back soon with another video.